a question and answer video. So I asked Instagram and Facebook if anyone had any questions that they'd like me to answer. So I separated this video with my last video just to make things a little bit shorter, and also you might get some more information in this video. So I hope you enjoy, and yeah, let's get straight to the questions. So question number 1 is, what is it that you love about Japan, the Japanese language, that has taken you on this journey to teaching in the JET program? Oh, that is a good question, and also a really difficult one to answer. I think my love of Japan started when I was about 8 or 9, and I distinctly remember making this Japanese poster for my year 4 class, and it featured like really cool booklets of like all about Pokemon and then all about Digimon, and I remember having Mount Fuji on there too, and it was just the coolest thing, like researching all about this country that seemed so far away, and it just seemed like a magical place full of just everything that I loved. And ever since then my love for Japan has just grown as I've gotten to know more about the culture and the language, and just like the meaning behind phrases and the language and kanji. Everything about it is just like, it's just beautiful, and it's just really hard to explain why I gravitated towards Japan, or like why I'm so like you know, fixated on Japan, or like I admire it so much. But I think it's just a combination of so many things that I love, like the nature, just the art, the music, the people, just everything about it. Like I've been here 4 times previously, and every single time I have just loved it. Even if I've been to the same place, you know, more than once, just it's a different experience each time. And yeah, I just, you know, I really gravitate towards anything Japanese really. So yeah, it's a difficult thing, but I just it's hard to explain, but I just love it so much. And I'm really grateful and happy to be here and get to experience living and working in a place that I've always wanted to live in for years, almost 20 years now. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Thank you so much for asking that one. So the next question is life in Japan quite isolating, especially with the pandemic, or do you get interactions with neighbors, etc.? That's a good question. So during COVID-19, of course, things had changed all over the world. But at the moment, Japan's in a pretty good place. There's still, you know, cases every day. But Hyogo especially is on the decline. Like I looked the other day and we only had 2 new cases, which is great. Compared to, you know, previously when there was thousands of cases a day. So in general, we can go out anywhere. We still have to wear masks in public, of course, and hand sanitizer, social distance, that kind of stuff. But everything seems pretty normal, you know, considering the circumstances. We are able to interact with neighbors. So I have met my upstairs neighbor, and we went out for dinner, which is great. So she's another ALT who is from Brisbane. She's been here for 5 years. And yeah, so being at the school and everything, we can still have conversations, teach lessons face to face. We just have to wear masks, which isn't a big deal. Like we're just, you know, it's good that we can still teach face to face and not online. So that's a good thing. So fingers crossed things will get better and better as the year goes by, and hopefully we won't have to wear masks for much longer, and things will slowly get back to the way they used to be. So yes, that's a great question. So question number 3 is, what do you miss the most about home? That is another good question. So of course, apart from my family and pets and, you know, just normal life back in Perth, I definitely miss driving my car, the convenience of driving and being able to just go anywhere I want, just, you know, really quickly. I have to rely on my legs most of the time, and public transport. So I've definitely gotten a lot fitter since I've been here, that's for sure. And I also miss Yai's Thai, which is my local Thai restaurant. I miss going there weekly to get my pineapple curry with tofu. I really miss eating Thai food. I haven't really found any Thai places around here, so next time I go to Osaka or somewhere else, I'll have to really search for a Thai place and get something. But yeah, I definitely miss that. And I also miss Australian banks. So believe it or not, I do miss the simplicity of, going to a bank branch that opens from 9 till 5. Banks in Japan are a little bit more difficult to deal with, and it's such like a thing that you wouldn't think of unless you have to get a bank account. So having to get a bank account here, especially with a bank that doesn't really offer online banking unless you sign up after doing a bunch of things. And I have a cash card which only lets you withdraw cash and deposit cash, and it doesn't let you, it's not like a debit card or a credit card where you can use it to pay for things. You can only literally store your cash in there. So it's very confusing, and you can only use ATMs during a certain time of the day. You can only go to the bank when they open, and that's only till 3 p.m. and I don't finish school till 4:10. So it makes things a little bit more tricky in regards to finances. So I definitely miss banks, and yeah, I think that that's pretty much what I miss. Everything else is everything else is okay. So yeah, thank you for your question. Question number 4. What do you want to do while in Japan? So I would love to climb Mount Fuji. So that is number 1 on my list. So I plan to go around July or August next year during their summertime, which is like their climbing season. So that is like top number 1 priority thing on my list to do. Of course, I'd love to explore and discover new places that you wouldn't really think about going to. So going around Hyogo Prefecture, which I've never really done before, just discovering little hidden gems and just nice places that aren't really like a typical tourist place, but just a nice place in and of itself. So I just really want to walk around, discover, and just make memories and have some good experiences. So yeah, that's what I would like to do while I'm in Japan. And next question, what has been your least favorite part? Least favorite part, I guess would have to be, so I haven't really had any like bad experiences thus far, but I will have to say that it is a little bit stressful to know what is expected of you at the school. There are a lot of teachers there, and it's just quite intimidating being like the only foreign person. And I feel bad for like asking, if like what I should do, or if like when I'm finished marking and I've finished preparing lessons and stuff, like I don't want to bother the teachers by saying like, what should I do now? So I just kind of make more worksheets or do some research with how to teach English to Japanese students. And yeah, so I do feel like I don't know if I fit in quite yet. So that has been, a little bit difficult with settling in, but I hope the teachers like me. I really like them, but yeah, I just don't want to be the annoying person who's like a burden on everybody. So I just kind of keep to myself most of the time and try not to get in their way. So that has been a little bit challenging, but yeah, other than that, I think it's been okay so far. So hopefully I'm not getting on anyone's nerves, and I hope that I actually am helping more so than hindering people. So yeah, that's it. So next question. Okay, next question. How do you pay for things, cash or card? Also, is it easy to know whether something is cheap or expensive by Australian standards? So that's also a good question. That kind of plays in with the bank thing that I said previously. So I do pay cash and card pretty evenly with different things. So cash, of course, is only for public transport and for paying bills. Like I paid my electricity bill at the convenience store using cash. You can pay card for pretty much anything else. I use my Australian like MasterCard, debit card or credit card. That works perfectly fine here. But yeah, it's really quite difficult to get a credit card or debit card in Japan. So at the moment I've just been using my Australian one and then cash as well. But of course I can still use my cards with online purchases. But yeah, it's pretty even at the moment, but a lot of places take cash only. Some places only take specific cards, but so far I haven't had any trouble with paying for anything. So, and in regards to knowing if things are expensive in compared to Australia, you kind of have to use your like previous judgment or your knowledge about Australian products, I guess. So like in regards to TVs, in my opinion, they're a lot more expensive in Japan than they are in Australia. Even secondhand TVs for like ones that aren't in the greatest condition and aren't the biggest or the best are still around $400, $500 or even more. My little one that I just got was about $90, and that's like, you know, quite a nice petite size, but it has a DVD player. But again, that wasn't the cheapest I could have probably got, but it was, you know, the cheapest I found. And yeah, and you just have to sort of be smart and shop around. But of course there are really cheap things in Japan, like they have Daiso stores which only have like $1 to like $3 items. So this blanket here I got from a store similar to Daiso, which was $3, like 300 yen. And that's really quite good. So you can get some real good bargains. And of course Pokemon plush toys are really reasonably priced here. So they're a lot cheaper in Japan than they are in Australia. Like this one, for example, was I think about $15, and in Australia, if you wanted to get a similar size plush, it'd be like 30, $40. So it's depends what you buy. But like fresh fruit and vegetables are quite expensive here. Like I saw an apple, one apple, but it was, to be fair, it was about the size of my head. It was $10, about 1,050 yen or something in a store in Osaka. And I was just so surprised and shocked at seeing such an expensive fruit. So it really depends what kind of produce you buy. I tend to try and buy the cheap ones that are like on sale, almost going off, so they're like a lot cheaper. But yeah, it's around similar price for like cereal and for bananas and things. And bread is a different one too. So bread is so bizarre in Japan. It's really hard to find like a whole loaf, a proper loaf that has like thin slices for sandwiches. And it's impossible to find wholemeal or seeded bread. Like I have not come across any like seeded bread here. I've come across some wholemeal, but it's not as common as white bread. And the bread comes in like packs of 3 of really thick slices. So like if you wanted a sandwich, you have to buy like 2 packs of 3 to have even slices. And they're really thick, so be prepared to get quite full on the sandwich. It's so difficult to find in like a proper loaf. I think of course if you go to a bakery, they're more than likely to have, you know, loaves of bread that's a normal thickness of slice, but at the regular grocery store it's just packs of 3 slices and it's like about $3, I think. So it's that's a bit different, I think. So bread and fruit is something that's not the cheapest here, but everything else is pretty good. So water is for like a big 2-liter bottle, I found the cheapest one was 68 yen, which is about 70 cents, which is really good. So yeah, it really depends. Convenience stores have some great things too, some really cheap snacks and drinks and meals and things. So yeah, it's not too bad here. Hey, next question is any signage in English and Japanese? So Most public transport places will have both languages on signs, like at the train station you'll see like the Romaji English version and also the Japanese as well. In restaurants, most of the menus are in full Japanese. You'll be lucky if you can get some menus with pictures and stuff, so you can maybe have a bit of an idea of what you're ordering. So it's a good idea to sort of brush up on some food vocabulary if you want to order at a restaurant. But like at shopping centers and stuff, sometimes things are in English and Japanese. But it's pretty easy to navigate around. Like, of course, if you have Wi-Fi or a SIM card, you can use Google Maps and find your way around, which is I've been using it all the time. But yeah, in general, most things are in Japanese, of course, because it is Japan, but you will find the essential things also in English if you need it. So yeah, it's not too bad. All right, so next question. Have there been any scary moments? Oh, okay, so there has been one. So I was in the room with the kotatsu and I was folding up some bed sheets that I had just washed. And as I was like folding the bed sheet, I heard like a weird rattle and out comes this giant cockroach. I don't know where it came from. I think it came from like the windowsill when I had taken the bed sheet off the clothes hoist. It might have like touched it or something and like triggered it to come out, and it gave me the fright of my life. I have never seen, honestly, I have never seen a cockroach so big in my whole life. It was like this big, and I don't like killing bugs. I will not kill a fly if it's not necessary. I won't kill a mosquito if it's just outside. You know, I try not to kill animals or bugs or whatever, but it freaked me out so much, and I had to spray it. I'm sorry, cockroach. It was terrible. I felt really bad afterwards. I really did. But like, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't have any containers to capture it and then release it. Like, I did not know what to do, so I ran to the kitchen, and thank goodness my predecessor left me with some cockroach baits and like fly spray. So I had to like slowly get it from where the blanket was from the kotatsu, and like I had to spray it, and then it like ran back to the windowsill and I had to watch it die. I didn't want to squish it because so much blood would come out. I swear it would be like a gush of blood. So I had to like wait for it to sort of die, and it was just terrible. I didn't like to watch that. So then I had to like pick it up and wrap it in a tissue and put it in the sandwich bag and then put it in the bin. Oh, it was terrible. I'm not looking forward to summer when more cockroaches will be coming out. I heard that Japan is notorious for big cockroaches and big flying bugs, and it's not, it's not something I'm looking forward to, and I don't like to kill them, but if they're inside and they're like getting all over the place and eating things, I can't have that, I'm sorry. I'll try and release them. I'll try and capture them and release them, but I'm not gonna make any promises, I'm sorry. So be warned, bugs in summertime. So that was the scariest moment so far. So, last question, last but not least, the best question of them all. What is the weather like? The most interesting question. So the weather, it has been pretty cold. So it's autumn at the moment in Japan. So it's opposite weather to Australia. So it has been very cold. I heard from somebody that this area is one of the coldest in the Kansai region. So it has been very chilly in the morning and at night time. So as I'm walking from school to my apartment, I've been like shivering, like rubbing myself up. But I did recently buy a big snowboarding jacket, which is great. So that will come in handy for sure when it starts to get way colder. I've heard it gets like to -10 degrees here. And also I'm really looking forward to some snow. Apparently it snows a little bit in this area, so that's gonna be great. I really hope it snows while I'm here. And yeah, but it's been good weather in general. It's been quite sunny. There's only been a few days of rain, but nothing heavy. I did buy an umbrella for that reason, so that's good. And I heard as well summers here get really, really hot, like 38-degree hot. And apparently as soon as you like walk outside, you become an immediate sweat ball. I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah, I don't like the heat. I really can't take like being hot and being sweaty. It's really gross. So I'm really lucky to have 2 winters this year. I left Australia just as it was becoming spring, and then I've arrived in Japan during their autumn and then their winter. So I'm very lucky to have avoided our summer in Australia to come to a winter in Japan. So yes, very, very fortunate. But yeah, that pretty much sums everything up. That's all the questions that I got asked, apart from some other silly ones from my sister, who I will not answer. I will not answer some of her questions that she asked, so very silly. So I hope you enjoyed the answers to my questions, and if you have any more, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. I can save a few for a future video if you're interested. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. See you later. Bye.